Right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Now, I'll tell you a short story. There is this man I know who would always oppose me when I criticize the general nature and style of governance in Nigeria. But today, he came to me depressed. He said he needed 150,000 naira cash, and bank only gave him 20,000 naira. They said there was no cash from CBN. The ATM paid him 30,000 naira and said he had exceeded his daily limit and he couldn't get more cash from there. He fell back to a POS and he ended up paying 5,000 naira as charge to get 100,000 naira cash to complete the money he needed. This is Nigerians using naira to buy naira in Nigeria. And I said, well, that's what you get when the system is fraudulent. Yours is just a loss of 5,000 naira. You are complaining. Some people have lost their lives. Some people have paid the ultimate price as a result of simple cases of open corruption in this country. I keep talking about calamity that awaits low and medium income earners in 2025 if TINUBU gets that tax reform bill signed into law. Nigerians must realize that our docility, that taking sides with political parties or certain religions will not help us in any way. Insecurity is widespread, unemployment is widespread, infant mortality widespread, and these guys are not doing anything about it. The next thing TINUBU can think of is a tax reform bill. Value-added tax will move from 7.5% to 15%, and the level of inflation we are experiencing today will become a joke compared to what is coming in 2025 if that tax reform gets through. And few hours ago, tragic news broke out all the way from Benue State, the same state where the governor, a supposed Reverend Father, claims that TINUBU is God sent. Another heavy tragedy from Benue State to add to the number of lives already lost in this December alone. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, northern Nigeria dropped a bomb on TINUBU. The North has said that they are not afraid of TINUBU, and if he wants anarchy through the tax reform bill, that anarchy he will very well get. Before I give you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. This video here is from a northern elder, popular northern elder that everyone needs to watch. This video is concerning TINUBU, his present performance, and his bid for re-election. See the video.
Some people are planning to bring the old voting system where you will have your ballot paper in your room and continue to print it. It can't work, Oga President. It will not work. You say 6 years tenure, it no work. Tax, it no work. Food is expensive. You know you are not winning. You know you are not winning. Look at what happened in Ghana. Let's take example of Ghana. If they win, you just say you congratulate them. I have some of your supporters say you are not like Jonathan. We will win you and you will go. We will win you and you will go. And that voting will go for Viva. Nobody will force us for anybody. We are not monarch and we are not under your distance. We vote you to rule us for the 4 years. Nobody will go for 6 years and nobody will carry us that back to that ballot paper where you will carry it, go Lagos in your house, continue to print it. You say you win election. No way, Oga. Nobody can force us that thing. We don't afraid of anybody, but only we can respect. Me, I can only respect, but we can't fear, and we continue educating our people to know. Nobody will take us this thing. Let the law let them take it to National Assembly to back us by Viva, not by the other card where you just carry it and vote. We cannot go back to that system again. Why don't you go forward? Every day we are reversing. Why? Why don't you go forward, Oga? Mr. President, if they vote you, you say, well, we had that you are supposed to say you are not a Jonathan. If they vote you, you will say no. This will, 2027, you will see it. When we vote you out, don't say you will not go, make we see. You will go. If they vote you out, you will go. If you win, you win. We know why you can win. You cannot win. We will not pray. Me, Gololo, I don't pray for God, make you win. If I want pray, make I die. I know what make you win. Because I vote you, I work for you, and I see how you take us from the north. So, north and east and south, we will present our vote to the spirit candidate that can flog your hands down. We don't need even the South was no vote. Manobu is not only 6 states. Kano and Kaduna covered the whole of their vote. So we are going for one candidate now. The East and South are not. We are grouping and we are campaigning, and they have understand where we are going. That is where we are going, Oga. And if you vote, you say you are not going, I'll make you see. They vote. If you know they vote, you come out. You win election, and that's why you be a president. And then the win, you say you are not a Jonathan, you can't go. You will go if you lose, Oga. You will go. You don't pass. Everybody have his own right to speak. You will go. Human right. If somebody talk, you will arrest him. If you charge him to court, you give him terrorist. Anybody talk about the government are terrorists. If you not talk, now good man. Oga, please, this is democrat. As you say, you are the one who fight soldier. Is that how you fight the soldier? You fight the soldier to bring democrat, but you come as a monarch. You come as a dictator. You want to use one party system. It can't work. Even if you destroy PDP, you destroy NPP, you destroy Labour, there's another party. We can carry any party. But I'm still in APC. To when I hear say they give you ticket, that day I drove from the motor. From there, because I will not vote you. And we will campaign against you till we see say that 2027, you go. Bye-bye. Thank you.
You heard that. Dr. Garros Gololo there telling the TINUBU camp that it is all over. And of course, Gololo is a prominent member of the northern faction of the APC. And I can tell you with all assurance that he speaks the minds of over 95% of the northern wing of that party and northerners in general as it stands today. TINUBU himself is aware that his chances of being elected in a free and fair contest is worse today than it was in 2023. The whole talk about his performance in Lagos State and his ability to organize the right people who can get the job done have now been totally exposed and found to be lies. That is to those who believed them in the first place, not to people like me. I knew there were lies from the day one. Now, the North is calling for a collaboration with the Southeast and South-South to dethrone TINUBU. That is absolutely the way to go. But this collaboration has to be in the interest of Nigeria. And it has to be seen to be in the interest of Nigeria, not in the interest of any region or religion. And the only proof that it is in the interest of Nigeria will be in the choice of the candidate that this North plus Southeast plus South-South collaboration will present. If Nigerians from all religions and regions are coming together to dethrone TINUBU and we are to back one presidential candidate, and our choice is going to be based on parameters like 1, competence, 2, integrity, because you can have competence and not have the integrity, the will to do what you can do. Then 3, the knowledge of the problems and how to solve them, because you can have competence and integrity and not know what to do. Then 4, age and health advantage. And 5, equity and justice. Based on these parameters, Peter Obi clearly scores higher than any politician in Nigeria as it stands today, based on these verifiable parameters. So for the coalition to have 100% logical approval rate, it has to pick Obi as the flag bearer. All due respect to a candidate like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, but his candidacy can't even get up to 70% logical approval rate. He is better than TINUBU, no doubt. Clearly better. But if we want to be real as a nation, we are talking about doing the right thing, because he also comes with his own baggages, many of them. So if we want to totally do the right thing and change the course that the nation is going, Peter Obi is the man. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at details of the top stories. First is that tragic news coming out of Benue State, the same state where their governor, a supposed Reverend Father, claimed that TINUBU is Alpha and Omega. And next is that strongly worded speech from a governor in northern Nigeria saying that TINUBU's insistence on the tax reform bill is a call to anarchy in Nigeria, and they are not afraid of him, that they will give it to him exactly how he wants it. Let's start by taking that update coming out of Benue State. Look at how the papers reported it. Christmas Day attack. Armed headsmen kill 12 Benue residents, abduct 7 children, injure others. Sahara reporters. the Christmas Day celebration turned tragic for the people of Yav and Mbakiol Council wards in the Kwande local government area of Benue State. The bandits, suspected to be herdsmen, launched a brutal attack on the communities, leaving over 12 persons dead and several children abducted. The victims, including children as young as 2 and 6 years old, were taken from their families during the attack, which occurred around 4 p.m. Many others were injured and some are still reported missing. Sahara Reporters reports that the latest attack is coming barely 1 month. Hundreds of armed men stormed communities in Benue State's Katsina-Ala local government, killing no fewer than 30 residents and destroying properties worth millions of naira. A resident, Jato Aka Lawrence Akeriba, who spoke to some journalists on Thursday on the latest attack, lamented that the communities had been subjected to a series of attacks with no help from either the government or security agencies. He said the attackers invaded Yab and Mbakiol council wards of Turan community at about 4 p.m. when most residents were at home with their families enjoying the cool breeze of the Yuletide, killing 12, injuring scores, and abducted children while others were still missing. In a separate incident, a group of 8 boys were ambushed while fetching crops from the farm. 1 boy was killed and the remaining 7 sustained gunshot injuries and are currently receiving medical treatment. On Christmas Day evening, 8 young boys who are also taking refuge in Jatoaka town, which is Yav Council wards, were sent by their parents to bring some crops from the farm so as to prepare food for the family on Boxing Day. And on their way, they met the attackers who opened fire on them, killing 1 person, while the remaining 7 who escaped with gunshot injuries are receiving treatment in an undisclosed hospital. Lamenting the sustained attacks, Akeriba said that after the burial of Wantarek Paul Unongo, there has been a sustained attack by bandits on the community. He said that of the 5 council wards in the Turan community, 4 have been deserted for over 10 years due to sustained attacks by bandits suspected to be armed herdsmen. 5 out of 10 communities deserted for Fulani herdsmen to take over. Yet their governor, a supposed reverend father, said that APC and TINUBU, they are the best things since sliced bread. And I don't miss any chance to tell the world about the failure of governance in Benue State because their governor was the most vocal against the End Bad Governance protest in August. He said TINUBU was doing perfectly well, that no protest was needed. Now look at what his state has turned into. People are deserting their communities in thousands and Fulanis are taking over their lands and nothing is being done. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, that bomb from Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad dropped on the TINUBU regime. Look at how the papers reported it. Tax reform. We will show you our true colors. Bauchi Governor threatens TINUBU. Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad said Bola Tinubu's tax policies is anti-northern Nigeria and threatened that the region would show its true colors. According to him, the tax reform bills are aimed at favoring just a section of the country and shortchanging northern Nigeria, threatening that we would show our true color, we will fight for it. Speaking when he received the Christian community in Bauchi State who visited him at the government house on Wednesday for the annual Christmas homage, the governor called on TINUBU to listen to the people and change the anti-people policies. He stressed that no policy should be imposed on the people because Nigeria does not operate an oligarchy system of government or a military rule. I call on you to pray for Nigeria and pray for all the leaders of Nigeria, including my humble self, because Nigeria needs prayers. We are facing difficulties. There is a lot of wahala. There is a lot of hunger. And it is something that we have to pray for God to obliterate. We have to say it, but certainly we are not insulting anybody. We are calling on TINUBU and the federal government to change their style. Whenever a policy is not popular, they should listen to the people. They should not be arrogant and think that whatever we bring must be. This is not oligarchy. This is not a military rule. They must listen to the people, and that is what makes a good leader. Muhammad further said, it is not about pride or ego. We must be able to do things that people will be assisted with, because whatever it is, the situation was not like this before. If the situation was bad before I came, tell me, and I must change. And that is why Tinubu must listen to the cries about tax reform. It is not a good policy for northern Nigeria, because we are not going to get money to pay you salaries, to do roads. They must listen. Otherwise, they are calling for anarchy, and that is not good. We voted for Tinubu in this state and other states. He must listen to us. They must not come up with policies that favor only one section of the country or even one state in the country. It is not about religion. It is not about tribe. It is about national unity. It is about national hegemony, and this is what we are all about. Good leadership. We will continue to be loyal for the time being, but if the situation persists, they will see our real color. We are going to fight for it. We are not afraid of them. Even if it is the president, we are not afraid of them, except that we only show respect. Whether it is a traditional institution, or it is the federal government, or it is the president, honestly, we are not afraid of them. But we can only show our obedience and respect to leadership. But we will not allow anyone to denigrate us. You heard that? Now, no matter what anyone thinks, I give kudos to some of these northern governors for how they speak sometimes. Yes, you can say they are fighting for their own pockets, but at least they are not puppets. They are not yes men like most southern governors are. And of course, I'm very excited that the North is saying they will fight Tinubu and give him the anarchy that he is striving to introduce with the tax reforms. And I will continue to say that a tax reform is not the next thing that Nigeria needs. Yes, we need national reforms, but it doesn't start with taxes. We just saw a 2025 budget where people were still budgeting 20 million naira to buy one Tiger generator, something that is sold for probably 650,000 naira. Gbajabiamila budgeted 15 million naira for 2 photocopying machines. That is 7.5 million naira for one photocopying machine. Put it in a national budget and nobody is talking. We are not reforming all those ones. It is taxes that we want to talk about. It doesn't make sense at all. But of course, you know Nigeria, as soon as Bala Muhammad put up this speech, it turned into a tribal war. Some Yorubas came out and were trying to defend Tinubu that why would he threaten president? Well, I said, look at these people. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. Dear Kolola Oluwa here says, true colors, threatening the presidency, all because of tax reforms. Well, yes, that's what he has done. So you go ahead and do your worst. And Dewdrop Onyin here says, parasites. It is Tinubu's fault for not supporting Yoruba independence since we've been asking. But Kabir Usman here says, thank you so much, Karan Bauchi. T-Pain needs to be talked to in the language he understands best. And that is Nigerians for you, always missing the point. I studied, a great part of this tax reforms bill, and I realized that there's nothing in it that really favors the people. Yes, it takes more money down south. But what is the guarantee that the leaders there are going to use the money for the people? There is no guarantee. They are still going to embezzle it. So the issue with Nigeria has never been, money not being available. It is management. They always steal this money. So they are just going to deprive these northerners of money. But does it come to you? No. The only fact which is very factual about it that directly affects the poor is that value-added tax. It's going to move from 7.5 to 15%, subject to further increase from now to 2030. The low-income earners and average income earners will be totally finished. That is the part that I'm focusing on. But anyway, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes. Let them keep going back and forth. We'll be here to report how this issue continues to unfold. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. Where una go like? Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away.